Okay, today we're going to learn how to compile a Java application on Netbeans IDE 11.1 and then run it remotely on a Raspberry Pi 3. Now, to be able to do that, the first thing you got to do is you got to set up a remote connection between the IDE and the Raspberry Pi 3. So let's go ahead and set that up. First, you click on Tools and Java Platforms. Now I had one that I created earlier, but we're going to create a new one in this case. So let's go ahead and click Add Platform, and then we're going to select Remote Java Standard Edition, and we're going to click Next. Now, first thing it's going to want to do is it's going to want a platform name. So we're going to just call this Remote Pi 3. Okay. And then you need to put in your host name. Another thing I say is down here, this window, if you pull it down a little bit and over, you get the port display is a little bit better. So let's put it. In my case, it's going to be Raspberry Pi. In your case, it may be something different, or it could be just put an IP address in there. And then username. In my case, it's just simply Pi, and that's the case in most of them when they're set for their defaults. Then you put in your password. And if you have a key file where you're using like a SSL or TLS, then you would have a key file here, but we're not doing that in this case, so we're just going to press on. Now also, you want to set a path on the Raspberry Pi where this code's going to go. In my case, I'm just having /user, so that's what I put in there. And then you click Finish. And you'll see down here it's connecting to the Raspberry Pi and it's setting up that connection. Now that connection is called Remote Pi 3. So we'll close that out, and we're going to go ahead and create a Java application. New project, and we're going to use Java with Ant to keep it simple. It's going to be a Java application, and we're going to click Next. In this case, we're going to call it Remote Pi. And we're going to take all the defaults and click Finish. It's going to create the project. It's going to be a simple basic main function there, nothing in it. Okay, so we're going to add something simple just to make sure that our Raspberry Pi can speak to us. So let's do a little systemout.println, and we're going to say hello from Pi 3, and that should give us something right there. So now you could run this, but it's not going to run on the Raspberry Pi. The first thing you have to do is you have to make a connection from the project to the remote connection that you created previously under Tools. So let's go back up here to the project folder, and we're going to click on that, and we're going to select Properties. Okay, so first thing you got to check is that the JDK on your Raspberry Pi 3 matches the JDK that you have listed on this source. In this case, Netbeans 11.1 has the JDK 13 installed, and all of its code that it creates locally is going to be JDK 13. But on the Raspberry Pi, it's running OpenJDK 11 on its Raspbian OS. So we're going to set that to JDK 11, and then we're going to take all of the default options up to Run. Now we need to do some changes here, so we're going to have to create a configuration. It's going to want a name. If you don't, it's going to complain. So we'll click on New, and we're going to give it a name for this configuration. So let's just call it Remote RPI for giggles here. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to set up the platform. So in this case, we call the new platform that we created, or the new remote connection, Remote Pi 3. So we're going to go ahead and select that. You don't have to select anything else, you just take the defaults. So we're going to click OK, and it's going to now hook this project, Remote Pi, to that remote connection, Remote Pi 3. So we're ready to compile and to run. If you look at the output window, once we click the run button, let's see what we get here. You can see that it's deploying the jar, and down here it says hello from your RPI3, which is exactly what you would expect. Now, having said that, you've run a program, but it could be running on your local computer. In this case, I'm running Windows 10, so I know that if it comes up with something different than Windows 10, I'm running it remotely. So let's try this. Let's do a system out print line. Oops. And we'll do a quick little message. Your OS is, and then space. Now we're going to add something to the end of that, and we're going to do a system dot get property, and we're going to be looking for, in this case, OS dot name. Okay, so when we get there, it should tell us what OS it's actually, this program is actually running on. So let's try it again. Again, we're making a connection, running the jar, and if you're successful here, we have hello from your RPI3, and your OS is Linux, which we would expect because we are running Raspbian on the Raspberry Pi 3. And that's it for today. Thanks, guys. Take care.